VersTEAv205.
Hello, hashtag VersTEAv family, and welcome. It's week 205. I'm Aaron Mack, and I'm here with my good friend Kevin, Face the Complexity, and today he will take you all down a journey down what makes the number 5 substantial. Face the Complexity, Kevin, take it away, my friend.
All right. Well, I will definitely start off with the year 1985 because that marked the year of my very short only child status that ended in 85. I wasn't even 2. So yeah, I was a little perturbed. It was the year I turned 2, but I was really a year and 9 months. So yeah, it was a little nuisance.
Were you bothered about it at 1 year old?
But being the only child, that was kind of a big thing.
Okay.
And seeing this out, I was the first, I wasn't ready for another one yet.
Well, I'll take it away with my newer song, unless you have something else to say about that.
No.
All right. So, my newer song is 2017's Well Done by Erica Campbell. And the story behind that song is I remember I liked the song like for quite some time, right? And
Mm-hmm.
I remember one week, like some time after the song came out, after coming home from church, after hashtag VersTEAv started, I was thinking about hashtag VersTEAv. You know, it was the beginning days of hashtag VersTEAv, and thinking about the song, and the song is talking about being told well done, you know, like when you get to the pearly gates, or you know, when you meet your maker, you know, and being told job well done with your life. And I thought about that, and in relation to hashtag VersTEAv, and I was like just imagining getting to that time and being told well done, and having God Almighty tell me that, you know, you might not have known it while you were on earth, but well done. Like you helped so many people with hashtag VersTEAv. And then I think about myself when I was younger, and how if I had something like a hashtag VersTEAv in those days, I probably would not have made some of the choices that I made in my life. It was all a learning experience, right? And I'm grateful to be here to tell the story. But if I had a hashtag VersTEAv, I probably wouldn't. I would have gone about some things differently. And also, I'm very much a fan of podcasts, and I remember, uh, anyway, because consistency is key and very important. And that's also part of the reason I'm so dedicated to it because I love podcasts. And I would be so hurt when like a favorite podcast of mine would just suddenly up and disappear, you know?
Mm.
So you just got to keep at it, keep going, be consistent. Somebody is watching you and they matter because that's how I'd feel when people would cancel their podcast and I'd be like, but I used to love this podcast. Why would you cancel it? I'd be like, you must just feel like I don't matter. Anyway, I'll tell more later. What's your older song, my friend?
All right. And so my older song, and for some of you who might remember this, was the debut single by the singer Mario, and he had a song titled "Just a Friend" 2003. Now, technically, the song came out in 2002. It might have been late '02, but song like heavily sampled virtually "Just a Friend" by rapper Biz Markie. And with Just a Friend 2003 was Mario's lead single from his debut album. The original Just a Friend was the lead single from Biz Markie's was the title track of Biz Markie's 1989 mixtape. And that's what I have.
Okay, cool. Let me go ahead and name this everything but. So this week the topics are drum roll, please.
Yeah, I can't
Hashtag
even.
TooReal. Hashtag maybe. Hashtag TryDinosaur. Hashtag WeDid. Hashtag live one timeless. Basic complexity. Are you ready to get this show on the road, my friend?
Oh, sorry. Just a moment.
Okay, so we're about to get started.
Yeah.
Hashtag TooReal at Corey R. Forrester. Hashtag VersTEAv205
So a whole lot of people got upset when Little Mermaid became black for some reason, and also a lot of people are upset because of a lesbian scene in the movie Lightyear, which, by the way, it turned out it wasn't anything, which made me mad because that's the whole reason I even watched the movie in the beginning, was like, well, maybe it's the lady from The Incredibles. That'd be nice, you know what I'm saying? It was nothing. Well, the thing that people are mad about right now, and this is the dumbest in my opinion, the thing that people are mad about right now is that they have turned Velma from Scooby-Doo into a lesbian. They have turned Velma into a lesbian. Let me just say one thing. If you're the type of person who it took until the year of our Lord 2023 before you realized that Velma from Scooby-Doo was eating pussy, you shouldn't have any say in your child's curriculum or what books are banned and which books aren't, because you do not have the capacity for abstract thought or a functioning brain. Thank you.
That was just funny. Now the after hearing that, I found it funny, and like seriously, I knew something was slightly off, or slightly different about Velma. As a kid, even though I was extremely young, just knew something was a little different. But now that I care, no. And I don't understand why people are getting all ups and arms over that. Who cares? And like he was saying, how people are getting like all up in arms about the Little Mermaid live action film because it's a black woman, and I guess because in the original cartoon, Little Mermaid was a white woman, but that's a fictional character. People need to get that to their dome. And that's what I have.
Absolutely. Like somebody said, people are upset that Little Mermaid is black because they're like, she's not supposed to be a black woman, and they're like, a mermaid is not a person. It's a anyway. People can just be ridiculous. Anyway, so I will say my initial reaction is, yay, Velma. Now we already covered a video that showcased Velma's lesbian existence, right? On episode of Scooby Doo. And my connection to it, I say, yes, we have made progress. Actually, that's like a loud clap because we have made progress. Absolutely. It's just what I'm realizing is that people of those who have progressed and are on the right side of, well, we should let people be who they are. Hallelujah. A lot of people are not accustomed to gay plus Q plus people being anything other than their single friend for life. Just because that used to be all that we could be, just being the single friend. Because outside of, and I have mentioned this before, but outside of things like civil unions and stuff like that, we were not allowed to get married. And I think about a friend of mine who is a Gen Zer, no, Gen Xer, sorry. And he was talking about how it's interesting because at his job, he he has seen how this younger generation of the gays, Gen Zers, are often coming in now with husbands and children, or wives and children. And that's so beautiful. I love that. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. Yes, we are. No, it's not that we're just promiscuous because inherently homosexuals are just promiscuous because they always just want to always just run around and it's all about no. We can settle down because we now have the opportunity to settle down. Thank you. And as far as Daphne, like Daphne and Freddie were definitely together. Everybody knew that, no question, you know. And for Velma, she was just single, and I connected that with, well, Velma's the smart one, so maybe smartness is for the single people. I don't know. And Shaggy is single too, yes, and he might be gay, but I guess not everybody needs a partner. I will finish this in the one sentence. Basic complexity, what's your one and or one?
With that, and I'm sorry, I'm just trying to figure out where I was. And oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just got confused. We are on A, right?
Yeah.
You said yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I guess my response would be sorry to get somewhat political or whatever you would classify this as this following statement as. But some people need to be allegedly woke. And use some common sense. Yeah. We all get it. Do we all use it? No. But we all have it.
All right now. One and one. Yes. So Shaggy was also single, not just Velma. So that's a thing, and you could kind of be like, well, maybe Shaggy was a Velma. No, but it's like maybe Shaggy is gay. Who knows? But I guess not everybody needs a partner, right? So I know that could kind of work against the whole Velma being single thing, and it's like, well, maybe she didn't need one. But I think it's good for shows to show different types of love styles that exist in the world, that do exist in the world. And maybe even gay marriage for uh, before Velma. Before Velma and Fred. No, before uh, before Daphne and Freddie. Maybe she'll get married before Daphne and Freddie. That would be cool. But also I want to say yes, but when he said that they have no concept for abstract thought, and it's like yes, abstract thought, and yeah, abstract thought, thinking outside of the box. Okay, my one sentence is different people have different love styles and speeds. Don't be afraid to represent these human differences. Again, yay, Velma. All right. Are you ready for the next one? Basic complexity.
Let's go.
And
Hashtag, well, maybe at Darren Green Show at marca.com. Hashtag VersTEAv205
Hey y'all, so Black China aka Angela White gets on Fox and Friends to talk about why she left OF. Now here's my thing. Look, that's her choice. You know, that's what she wants to do. She done made the money. Okay, put that in perspective. But to sit there and say that it's degrading for women now to do this and continue to do this, it's just like, it's a little disingenuous because I'm just like, girl, you have the luxury to let this go. Okay, you had the luxury. You didn't really have to do this. I felt like what she really, I don't think she wanted to say this, but what the facts are, you know, I got to figure out what I'm going to do because I'm only getting older and this is not going to be lucrative for me in the long run. It is fast money and it is short-lived, the career, but it is your choice and you shouldn't be judged for doing this type of work. I mean, it may not be an honest job, but it is what it is. Tokyo may have been right here. Hey, y'all.
Okay. So, my initial reaction is he is 100% right. Thank you, friend Darren Green. Yes, he's 100% right. Sex work is not something that you can just do forever and ever, right? Now, it sex work is also something that can be very socially sticky and stick with you. And the example that we gave talking about Chino Black a few weeks ago, that's a perfect example of it, unfortunately. And OnlyFans has the potential to be a nice bag for some, but it is, yeah, when you have to pay for your own medical bills and all that stuff, because if you're like, I'm going to make a career of doing OnlyFans, it's like, no, because that can stick with you. And granted, Black China did make a lot of money on OnlyFans. Like you can actually look that up. But the fact that she's doing what she's doing now, going on Fox and Friends on Fox News, shows that something must not somebody or something must be looking into the future for her and see that, hey, you have this lavish lifestyle right now. You're not going to be able to keep it up though, because you can't do sex work for life. And what happens with the sex work thing is as you get older and older, in order to make the same kind of money that you were making, you'll have to be wilder and freakier and everything. And even then, it'll still just go down. Basic complexity, what's your one and one?
After hearing this, I'm just like, do what works for you. I'm not hating at all. If that could be, I'm sorry, if that could get you money quick and easy, then do you? No hating.
Ooh, I'm so glad that you said that because I will use that to segue into this thing that I hadn't written down. But see, you're saying just do you. It's kind of like what Black China ended it with when she was on Fox and Friends from Fox News, and she was like, "But actually, I don't know her. I did see the video, but she wasn't like that. But it was basically, well, you can start off doing that, but just make sure to pull out before it's too late." And it's like that. Dan Savage talks about how he hopes that one day porn will just be an acceptable thing. We just accept any and everybody does porn. And or has the propensity to do porn. And so what? That shouldn't take anything away from them. I agree, but we're not there right now. And yes, I'll also say as far as our other, dang it, yeah, uh, yeah, it's not that easy to just get your bag and leave because it might follow you. Anyway,
That's
um, yeah. And I realized that I didn't do a connection. Not I realized, but I just didn't get to it. But what I will say in my one sentence is she is not old. She is not an old woman. But I still hope that she's not too late. Others take heed. Others take heed. Anyway, yeah. She is not too old. Ah, I don't have to do it again because I'm doing things differently. Basically, oh, you're 1-1. Goodness gracious.
Well, pretty much it's just let people live their own lives. If you don't like it, then that's your opinion. You're entitled to it, and people are entitled to not like it. That's what it is.
Oh, right. And share, subscribe, and share again. And here we go.
Hashtag TryDinosaur at Mike Mashiro. Hashtag VersTEAv205
If the church doesn't get this, the church is going to become irrelevant. To this generation, it's going to become irrelevant. And what I see happening is young people are leaving the church in droves because they have gay friends and they think, why are their gay friends being excluded for an orientation that they didn't ask for, just an orientation they were born with?
Honestly, I think it's a form of psychological terrorism. Literally, we are either directly or indirectly telling 8 and 10 and 12-year-old children that not just some incidental part of them is bad and needs corrected. We're telling them one of the 2 or 3 most beautiful part of their life is not only not beautiful, it's wrong.
So I think that LGBTQ people have just cause for being suspicious of the Christian church.
All right. So my initial reaction is wow. And positive opinion is expanding. That's a beautiful thing. And my connection to it is that's my connection. My connection is the timer. But my connection to it is I first heard this in my 20s, and I heard it talking about how us millennials, when we were in our 20s, our mid 20s, us older millennials are going away from the church at large numbers, away from the church of our youth. Not going away from church altogether, but just going away from the church of our youth because of the church's view on LGBT. And I remember at that time, I was kind of divided on it to the extent that my church at that time was a church that was not in favor of LGBT, right? And I was like, yeah, but it sounds like when you say something like that, you're saying people are leaving my church. And no, I don't think that's right. But the other part of me was like, well, you know, you need to move into the future, you know, step ahead. And now I say absolutely darn tootin'. And yes, yeah, because that kind of church hurt hate ends up making us delay our progress and or remove it altogether in finding love. And that's a big deal. Okay. And my church now is a church that it proudly talks about how we want to be a place of radical welcoming. And I think that's so cool and so beautiful how we work like extra hard to be like extra welcoming to people, acknowledging that differences exist in people because differences are human. Okay. Anyway, but all of that, yes. And I'm reminded of my one of my trainers who is a Gen Zer, who is a heterosexual man whose twin brother is homosexual, and how people are learning and evolving now. And if you if you wish to stay behind, that's fine. But people are learning and evolving now that it's not just some choice, going back to the video from last week, it's not just some choice that people are making just for the sake of bucking society, just because they want to be different and mean. No, it's because it's who they are. And we need to accept that. There are people who, uh, it's who they are, period. Basic complexity, what's your one and
Well, first, I personally spotted that about a good 20 years ago when I was a gay 19-year-old boy at a church service with some gay friends. And we were listening to the sermon when the pastor took a hard left turn and started preaching about how homosexuals were going to hell. And at that point, I think the entire group of us, because I was with some gay friends, and it was about 7 of us, roughly, just got up and walked out. It was a small church, so it was very noticeable. And we just weren't, none of us were not just gonna sit there and be bashed. So we got up and left. We walked out like mid-service. So that's what happened with that.
It's who started the walkout?
Actually, it definitely was not me, but I think I was like probably the second, maybe third person to get up and walk out. We were just sitting there, and I still remember this. And we were like, we're not putting up with this. So, we were done.
Was the pastor actually saying that gay people will burn in hell?
Yes. I was just like, all right, peace.
I was going to comment on that. You know what? I will take 1 minute, and I'll say, I was just talking with family about how one of the things that I appreciated about the church that I did go to for quite some time, a decade before, was the fact that even though they were not gay affirming, what made them different was the pastor was not like all gay people are going to burn in hell forever. And thinking about it, I was like, well, do pastors really talk about that stuff? But yes, they do. They damn people to hell. And that's why church hurt is such a real thing that it actually has a name. It's so authentic that it actually has a name because people deal with that stress of anyway. Nowadays, people are turning around and walking out just like you all did. You all were like some of the first. Well, yeah, I'm sure you all were not the first, but you all helped lead the way. Thank you, and hopefully, well, people are learning. People are learning. And my one sentence is: let's all evolve in love, not hate, not even basic xenophobia. Let's all evolve in complexity, and you're one and one.
Sorry, car went past. Say that again.
You're one and one.
All right. Well, basically, don't let someone or do not let someone try to hold you hostage claiming religion. Yeah, a lot of people do that.
That's it, you know.
So,
No, I said enough said. In other words, like that at the end of the sentence, right? Yeah, pretty much.
like, period.
Absolutely. All right. Are we ready for topic D?
Yeah.
Share, subscribe, and share again. And base complexity, you'll be first.
All right.
Hashtag we did. At Amanda Seals, hashtag VersTEAv205
When I first did It Kills Me, I remember going into record labels and people saying, nobody wants to hear anyone sing that well.
What?
I was told I
Wait,
sang.
nobody wants to hear anyone sing that
well right now in that time of music.
Well, who was out at that time of music?
I mean, like, and it's no shade to anyone else. Like, I mean, Ashanti was the huge pop R&B artist of that time. And like the music was more hip hop driven. It was more pop driven.
Where did Bridges go?
They are gone.
Can we build a bridge to Bridges?
Hello. That's a
'Cause
podcast.
I really missed the bridge.
The bridge was everything. A key change, a moment.
Modulation?
Modulation. It was, it was a thing. And so I remember going into meetings and people being like, you're beautiful, you're young. Like nobody wants to hear you sing that well or speak that well.
Yeah. All right. Well, first off, I've always loved the song "It Kills Me," like ever since it came out. And by Melanie Fiona. I've been aware for a long time how funny and fickle the music industry, how funny and fickle people in the music industry are. Now, it's not everybody, but it's a lot of them. And even was the other day I saw on was that TV1 when Tevin Campbell was basically researching or not researching, but going through what he experienced in life, and even he said you can't trust everybody. He said there's a few, but yeah, not everybody. And he also mentioned how at the time they treated him as a kid, even though technically he was. When he was on the TV show Unchained, on, like I said, on TV1, and I think that was about April 2nd, I think. And yeah, that's what I have.
You are a Devin Campbell fan, my friend.
Yes.
Me too, but I'm just saying, like, really, you love you some, you love you some him. Anyway, but let me stop. I love me some him too, huh? But that's another story. Anyway, my initial reaction to this is wow. I'm glad that you said that you loved it because I will say that I did not love the song when it was new. I acknowledge that she sang her butt off. I was like, yes, and I kind of felt like I should be liking this more, but I don't. And as far as them honestly throwing Ashanti under the bus, I will say that yes, interestingly enough, I did like not did like Ashanti. I do like Ashanti. I am an Ashanti fan, right?
Yeah,
And I acknowledge that Ashanti actually can sing. Like she even did David Foster concert, and that's how you test showcase your real vocal ability. And but the music business is here. It is a business, and it sells people sound and style. And also, I'll say it in going along with I love Ashanti. I also love Melanie Fiona because I think I kind of knew this, but it was like somewhere in the back of my mind. But she's a fellow 1983 sister. Yes,
Oh, I
Melanie
didn't
Fiona.
know
Yes, and I remember as far as Melanie Fiona being told that people won't like someone who sings as well as her or talks as well as her. I didn't catch that until like the second or third time that I watched it. But when I did catch it, I was like, oh, wait a minute. No, she didn't have to deal with that because that is exactly that just brought me back to my old singing group and how the guy who was in the works of potentially being our manager, he did not like me and the fact that I spoke so well, and I like this. This is when we were like fresh out of college. Well, fresh out of college, and he did not like it, and he was telling me that he's like, you need to learn to be more cool. Just be cool, you know, be cool. And in the meantime, like he spoke like me, right? But he was telling me that I just need to be cool, He told me I need to be like Stringer Bell from The Wire. And that's what he said. He's like, you need to practice being more cool so people will like you. And I'm like, what? And also I wanted to say Melanie Fiona talks just like Lady Gaga. Period. New statement. I'll finish the rest of my 1 minute. Basically, Lexi, what's your one and or one?
Yeah, basically is that all people should be treated with, at the very least, some respect. Because everybody isn't. And that's what I have.
Okay. Yeah, and I mentioned the Lady Gaga thing because it's like they're like people don't like someone to sound that well spoken. It's like Melanie Fiona talks exactly like Lady Gaga.
Mm.
So I'll just put that right there. Anyway, um, okay. In addition to acknowledging that they do have two different audiences, right? But ultimately, people like what they're sold because the music business is a business. So they pick what we're sold. Anyway,
Exactly.
like we used to love Whitney Houston, right?
Of
Right?
course.
But they decided to. Anyway, oh my gosh, I don't have enough time. But yeah, I also, as far as their question of the bridges, I also love Amory, and I remember a guy that I had a huge crush on during the time of Why Don't We Fall in Love, and he was a saxophone player in the marching band, and that Why Don't We Fall in Love has a big saxophone riff, and I would be, well, why don't we fall in love? Anyway, I must admit, as much as I love Amory and I love that album, All I Have, that album marked the end of the bridges. And I don't have enough time to go into why, but that album marked the end of bridges. My one sentence is, or my sum up is, it's all mess. Mess, mess, mess in the name of money. And are you ready for our next topic? Oh yeah, this is our timeless team, but I'm not going to turn off YouTube because there's nothing for YouTube to flag. I just, oh yeah, yeah, but this is when we close it. So this has been week one. No, this has been week 205. I'm Aaron Mack, and you can find me at AARONMCK at BERSTEAV.com. That's Aaron Mack at VersTEAv205 And you can find VersTEAv all over social media. Hashtag BERSTEAV. And you can go to our website, www.BERSTEAV.com. Now, basic complexity, and what is your Instagram, TikTok, and email? And one of those three is my.
I know that one. And if I'm not mistaken, that is TikTok. All right. So there we go. Well, let me say first on TikTok, and because I don't understand why, but the name Basic Complexity was taken. So my name on that is actually My Basic Complexity. Yes, was just what I had. And all right, so that's TikTok. Instagram is Basic Complexity, and those basically two different words pushed together. BASICCOMPLEXITY. And I'm also located definitely basic complexity at VersTEAv205.com. Right. All right, I'm getting better at this.
Yes. Yay. Well done, my friend. So, again, this has been week 205. We are about to go into our Timeless TV segment, Timeless TV, and Timeless TV 205. And we will see you all again. And here we go.